Bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, or whatever the case may be. My name is Marcus, and I am the host of the Black Brazil Today YouTube channel, as well as the BlackBrazilToday.com blog, where I analyze Brazil from the perspective of race. So, to start off this Christmas Eve, Christmas edition of the Black Brazil Today show, just wanted to talk a little bit about why the idea of this program came on. You know, every year around this time, depending on what type of media that you check out, what type of websites you check out, you'll see all types of, blog posts or videos talking about, what are the best Christmas films or specials to check out. And then, from there, depending on what you're interested in seeing, you can see the best Black Christmas movies or specials or whatever, and you come up with a whole list of different films and series or specials that feature, majority Black cast. It's something that's pretty normal in the United States. You just punch in like Black Christmas movies, and you're going to come up with a whole list of different things you can check out. The best Black Christmas movies to stream for holidays. This Christmas from '07, Almost Christmas from 2016, Friday After Next. There's a Christmas in Compton, Best Man Holiday, Last Holiday. Mind you, the Perfect Holiday. Most of these I haven't seen. I've seen a few of them. I'm just showing these just to give an example. 25 best Black Christmas movies of all time. So, as there is a history of African Americans in film in the United States, also there is obviously a history of, African Americans in, Christmas related movies. So, it's something that we're pretty much accustomed to. But as I continue to say, when the situation switches over to Brazil, the reality is something else. You just don't, it's only been in recent years that you find Black oriented content going on in Brazil. I just did a video a couple of days ago that was called "After Decades of Invisibility and Stereotypes, Brazil is Discovering the Power of Black Protagonisms in Films and Television." Because the thought has been for years, not only does Brazil practice its own form of white supremacy, for years, for decades, all you saw was mostly white faces. And the few times you saw Black people, they were presented in highly stereotyped roles, roles that were not important. Definitely were not enough Black people in these films or specials to be considered, a Black film. Like I said, there's only something in the last few years that even the international media is knowing that there's a change going on in Brazil these days that says Black Brazilians deserve to have more representation on the big screen and the small screen. So this is something that's just really starting to change, over, I would say, in the last decade, maybe. So the reason, so this is why I wanted to talk about this today. Actually, I'm doing a two-part report. Okay. This first video is from 2019. It was an article I posted on Christmas Day of 2019, which was 4 years ago, because Rede Globo, or Global TV, the global television network in Brazil, Brazil's top television network, had announced that it would, for the first time, the protagonist of a global TV Christmas special, Juntos, Magia Acontece, Together Magic Happens, it will feature a Black family, as the protagonist of this particular special. Recently they put out, well, I can't say recently, that's been a couple of years too, but they put out part 2 of this Christmas special. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this because, like I said, as it says in the title, if you didn't see Black people all year round, that means you probably didn't see them really much for Christmas either. So that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about this today. This is going to be a condensed version of this article that I put out in 2019, because I want to focus on the article that I put out in 2019 brought in a whole lot of other different topics that I wanted to discuss along with the Christmas program. Whereas tonight, I just want to focus on that Christmas special itself. Again, so the things that I'm going to refer to, keep in mind, this article is from 4 years ago. Okay. I'm presenting this one because originally I was going to just go ahead and put up the a report about part two. But since we're in the Christmas season, I'm going to go ahead and do part one today, and then do the second part of this special probably tomorrow or someday before the end of the week. Okay. So again, for the first time, the protagonist of a global TV Christmas special, Together Magic Happens, will be a Black family. Let's get directly into this. Okay, so this is what the cast looked like in that particular television special from 2019. So, as I said, this is a condensed version of the article. You want to check out the full article, definitely go to blackbraziltoday.com. So, I was still living in Sao Paulo at the time that I put this article up. So keep that in mind, that this article is from 2019, almost exactly 4 years ago. Well, 4 years ago today. And I was still living in Sao Paulo at the time. So Christmas in Brazil is always a little bit strange to me. The first obvious reason is that being from a northern city in the United States, so close to Canada, I'm accustomed to seeing frigid Decembers with a lot of snow. So, needless to say, experiencing the Christmas season with temperatures that hover between the 80s and the 90s is a drastic adjustment. For me, it just ain't Christmas. And I'm not even into this ultimate celebration of capitalism disguised as a holiday. The whole Christmas celebration in Brazil is sometimes a shocking reminder of how much of a colony Brazil remains of the United States. I mean, Santa Claus in a tropical country. I addressed this a bit a few years ago, so I won't spend too much time on this today. The old saying goes that the more things change, the more they stay the same, as this is usually the case in Brazil. The season in the media, like the other 11 months of the year, it is similar to that in the United States in that it is always a very white Christmas, even without the snow. That's because, as I've thoroughly demonstrated over the past 8 years, people who most approximate the European standard represent Brazil in just about every genre one can think of. So why would Christmas be any different? But with the rising call for representation, someone over at the nation's top television network decided to put a little color in this year's Christmas, at least for an hour or so anyway. So, what does it tell us about Brazil when a television special is being promoted as the first time a Black family will be a protagonist of a global Christmas special? Juntos, Magia Acontece, meaning Together Magic Happens, airs Christmas night with a story emphasizes the importance of unity and solidarity and overcoming tragedy, conflict, and adversity. These are the two actors who were the head of the family, of the Santos family, presented in this special. This is Milton Gonçalves here on the left, and this is Zezé Motta in Juntos, Magia Acontece. Okay. Together, again, translating it, Together Magic Happens tells the story of the Santos family. On a Sunday morning on Christmas Eve, Neuza, played by veteran actress Zezé Motta, this is her here, matriarch of the family, is setting up her tree for the celebration. With husband Orlando, played by Milton Gonçalves, again, this man here, she talks about plans for the new year. However, an accident changes the courses of things. Without his wife, who always dedicated herself to the end of the year holidays, Orlando falls into a painful period of mourning. The difficulties of the tragedy are only exacerbated with old conflicts between his children, André, played by Fabrício Boliveira, this guy right here, and Vera, played by Camila Pitanga, right here. In addition to his worrying about his son-in-law, Jorge, Luciano Quirino, who hadn't been able to secure employment. At a time of the year when families are all about joy, togetherness, and appreciation, the holiday seems to bring anything but that to Orlando's family. As if dealing with his wife's death wasn't enough, his son, André, distances himself and his daughter, Vera, immerses herself in household chores. To take his mind off of these difficulties, Orlando looks for an occupation. He applies to play Santa Claus in the Christmas campaigns of various companies, but is continuously turned down because of his color. However, inspired by granddaughter Leticia, played by the child actress Gabriele Motta, he continues in his search to play the man in the red suit. Okay, this is the little girl, Gabriele Motta as Leticia. The special presents a family with real life dramas, bringing everyday situations that affect families, such as unemployment and interpersonal relationships. For actress Camila Pitanga, her character Vera is a mirror of the reality of many Brazilian women who somehow divide themselves between career, work, and home care. With the extra difficulty presented by her mother's death, Vera must gather the strength to rebalance the family nucleus. Pitanga believes that this is precisely the meaning of the date of the birth of the baby Jesus. The spirit of Christmas to me is the symbol of this man who wants to connect with the life that goes on with his children, with his granddaughter. Do you want a more symbolic family date than Christmas? This is what Camila Pitanga said. So this is Milton Gonçalves here portraying Santa Claus, or Papa Noel, as they call it in Brazil. For writer Jefferson Tenorio, projects such as Juntos, Magia Acontece help to naturalize the presence of Black people in spaces that until recently were unthinkable. It will be intriguing to see how audiences will react to such a program, considering the reactions they often have when presented with a larger presence of Black people than what they are accustomed to. Tenorio acknowledges this norm in the Brazilian media. Okay, so this is Jefferson Tenorio right here. Although the Christmas holidays have a whole Eurocentric, classist, and white appeal, therefore far from the Brazilian reality, I think the effect on people's imaginary is important when facing the representation of a Black Papa Noel, again, meaning Santa Claus. From a symbolic point of view, it's important because it frustrates to some extent the racist system in which we live, evaluates Tenorio. The special's directory of photography, Henrique Salles, highlights the challenges perfecting the lighting of the recording, contemplating the diversity of the cast. I've been to some Black film festivals, and a recurring complaint from many actors is that they are badly exposed. So I was very careful that the skin was well treated and well preserved on the screen. On the screen, on the scene, sometimes we had a huge variation of Black skin tones. That was a challenge. Juntos, Magia Acontece is directed by Maria de Médicis and written by Cleissa Regina Martins. New to the first group of the Laboratory of Black Narratives for Audiovisual, a partnership between Globo TV and what's called FLOOP, the Literary Festa of the Peripheries, started in 2017. Cleissa is 24 years old and a graduate in the area of social sciences. The special is her debut as an author. So this is the lady responsible for, bringing this to global television. What's her name? Cleissa Regina Martins. She says the protagonist of a global television Christmas special will be a Black family. Each actor created a little for their own character. I thought it was cool. It showed how much they were involved in the text, how much they saw themselves there in some way, says Cleissa. Martins points out that the Santos family has issues that affect many families. This story is mainly about a family that has conflicts but comes together because of the wishes of two opposing members, the grandfather and the granddaughter. These two, each trying to overcome a loss on their own, end up involving the family in a plan to help them. Let me see what else we have. Okay, so this is I'm not even going to bother to try to put any of this video in my own video because Global Network strikes you down immediately. So you can go to YouTube and click in the title of this particular Christmas special, Juntos, Magia Acontece, and you can find like a few of the trailers there, as well as the part 2 that just I'm thinking. Well, part 2 came out in 2021. I'm going to be talking about that in a later video. So the role of André, led by or played by Boliveira, this guy right here, it led Boliveira to reflect on the difficulty men sometimes have in sharing their feelings openly. Cleissa's script gave him this room to think about this. Many men just can't talk about sensitivity, that you can ask for help, expose weaknesses. I'm studying a lot about masculinity, wanting to review this place of privilege. I'm not this guy who isn't rethinking the world. We are here to review our next steps, he says. Okay, another picture of the veteran actor, Milton Gonçalves, speaking on playing a Black Santa Claus, reflects on being Black in Brazil. Playing the role of Santa Claus also led veteran actor Milton Gonçalves to reflect upon Brazil's treatment of its Black population. For him, the role represents a step towards both in it represents a step forward both in terms of Blacks in Brazil's media as well as in the society as a whole. Now, I do have to discuss just to bring this up today. I recently did a video about Milton Gonçalves, this actor here. Milton Gonçalves passed away in 2022. And I had found a video of a brief interview that he did that I just thought was, I really wanted to share this interview with my audience. So uh, obviously this special came out in 2019, and Milton Gonçalves, one of Brazil's most recognized and one of the most iconic actors in Brazil's history, he died in 2022. So it's been a little bit over a year now. Okay. But still, it was one of his last most memorable roles. So I just wanted to, for people who are not familiar with Brazilian actors, I have to definitely mention that, like I said, he was a big part of this particular Christmas special, but he did pass away about a year and a half ago. Okay. Where else did I want to go with this? Okay. This is Camila Pitanga right here. She's also in the special. She's the significance of the Gonçalves Santa Claus character was also felt by actress Camila Pitanga, again, this lady here, who comes from a family of actors. Anybody who familiar with the Black Brazilians, you'll know that her father and her brother are both actors, and as well as her mother. Camila Pitanga has an intriguing story herself. So this is Milton Gonçalves posing as Santa Claus in this special. Camila says, when I first saw Milton dressed up, my eyes filled with tears because it's something that says a lot without being a pamphlet. Who says Santa can't be Black? If it's a fiction that we accept, this fiction can have many faces. And just as we see the need for children to see dolls with their color, with their hair, it's very symbolic. We can see a Black man as Santa Claus. Making a Christmas special that talks about the story of a Black family is a motive of much pride. Another scene from that particular special. To be sure, I will be checking out the Juntos, Magia Acontece on Christmas night. Not because I'm into Christmas, but because it's 2019 and we're still far from having to point out that this is the first Black this or that. I understand the excitement of the actors because that's how white supremacy trains us. It excludes us from so many things for so long that when it decides to give us a quote unquote present, we are so invested in making it in the white world, we react as if we've somehow overcome something. I would think that Black folks would have learned something after so much hope in the first Black president of the United States, leading to basically nothing changing. The more things change, the more they stay the same. This statement can easily be applied to Brazil's media in general as well. Juntos, Magia Acontece, which goes on the air on December 25th. Again, this was in 2019, is written and created by Cleissa Regina Martins with supervision by George Moura and artistic direction by Maria de Médicis and consultancy by Kenya Maria. The cast features, again, Milton Gonçalves here, Zezé Motta here, Camila Pitanga, Fabrício Boliveira, Luciano Querino, Tony Tornado, and the participation of the child actors Gabriela Motta and Ícaro Zulu. So anyway, curious to know what you thought about today's video, just in time for Christmas. As I said, this is a condensed version that I did in this video. The article that I cited, was an article that I posted back in 2019. It's a little bit longer if you want to go back to the Black Brazil Today blog and check it out. It's still online. But I want to know what your thoughts are on this. Bringing a Black family and a majority Black cast for a Christmas television special in Brazil. That's big news. Of course, they came out with part 2, which I'll be talking about soon. But for now, definitely, drop a comment in the comment section. I want to know what you guys thought about this. I know you can't really judge it until you actually see it. As I said, the best I could do would be pictures. Couldn't actually bring you the video for this because, like I said, Global doesn't like you messing with their productions. Drop a comment in the comment section. like this video, share this video, consider subscribing to this channel if you've seen more than a few videos that you liked. Smash that notification bell so that you'll know when I put up another video. It's always welcome if you feel like supporting the channel with a super thanks, or, drop a couple dollars in my Cash App at MRMARQUES72. That's a Cash App. And with that said, I'm going to conclude this video here and request that you all come back and check out the next video that I post.